Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. Big drama emerging last night with Benjyfishy getting an official warning by Riot Games for placing a bet on Riot Games' own League of Legends World Championship. Lots of reaction to this, of course, because many believe no big deal at all. Chet, though, after getting banned a few months ago by Riot Games for another infringement of their rules, believes it's pretty unfair that he got a ban with someone else gets a warning. Lots of other developments to talk about on the day as well. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. Apologies for my video over the last couple of days. With this time of year in Valorant, not as much going on, and there's been lots happening on the other channels that I do as well. So yeah, maybe this channel will be a bit more intermittent until the VCT officially starts up again. But you guys know that I'll keep you guys updated with the big stories. Absolutely. This was kind of interesting as well. So Gen.G were looking to launch a VCT Game Changers team based in Saudi, but apparently they cancelled it due to lack of sponsorships. So yeah, difficult one again when there's interest to support the Game Changers scene, and yet then it gets rescinded for various reasons. So definitely questions still are there on the validity and the likelihood of the consistency on the tier 1 to tier 2 scene, and also what that means for Game Changers as well. Speaking of tier 1, NRG, they won the SOOP Valorant League tournament the other day. Obviously the same as the Africa TV tournament from last year that Sentinels won. NRG won this one very impressively so, and as FNS says, thanks SOOP for inviting us to an amazing country and treating us with great hospitality. Fans are incredible, can't wait to come back to Korea again, and yeah, I thought it was nice to see as well 2 hours shameless stream when I'm back in a couple of days. So yeah, congrats to FNS and NRG, because if that tournament result was anything to go by, they will be a serious force at the start of the season. But of course, they have been somewhat intermittent themselves on whether they've looked good or bad. They played well at the Sensitive Classic, they turned up to the SOOP Valorant League, did not start very well, but after that, they completely took over the tournament with Verno leading the way. These, of course, being the top players, and 3 of the top 4 all NRG guys, Verno, Ethan, and Som. So thought that was particularly impressive. There's also been some debate as well in Valorant on, well, 18-year-old players and the rule around that. Now, in other esports, there's the problem as well. The main issue for me, the other channel that I talk about esports on is about Call of Duty. They have a major problem over there, in my opinion, when you can't even play challenges. You can't even play tier 2 if you are, not 18 years of age. So many players, they just go and do other things, which is fair enough. Now, Donk, of course, in CS, he's been killing it. Just won the major with Team Spirit a few days ago. Still only 17 until January, which is kind of wild to think about. But, ERA puts out the arguments that, well, making the VCT 18 plus is affecting and restricting some of the potential of players. I think there's a good argument to say that these leagues should be, 16 plus or something like that. I think, it definitely means that there is potential in players when they're not yet, 18 years of age. I don't think it's the end of the world in Valorant, because you can play when you're younger than 18. You just can't play in the VCT until you're 18, which is, it can restrict some talent. I don't think it's the end of the world. I think other esports have it worse. And also there was some discussion on whether they simply cannot do this because of, labour laws. As that's what Ryan says anyway, that the cities they operate in, LA and California, stuff like this, are they actually allowed to, have under 18-year-olds working? You know what I'm saying? I kind of get what he's getting at there. So maybe that's one of the reasons at the end of the day. But intrigued to your thoughts, as always, in the comments section below. There have been some further rumours as well that M80 is making the return to challenges. Galores, you guys remember this team that was at the Ascension tournament, Brazilian team, not long ago, a few months back, of course, and Sato is set to join, apparently, the M80 team instead. So, yeah, pretty interesting to hear about that M80 will be running back some sort of challenges team. There's certainly been a lot of speculation on the matter over the last few days. There were rumours they might, partner with Sentinel somehow with their Qubit Academy. That doesn't seem so likely now. So, yeah, maybe M80 after all will be returning to challenges, showing their support to the scene again and trying to qualify for the 3rd year in a row after missing out so marginally over the last couple of years. We saw as well the brackets for the kickoffs around the world. We saw the NA one, the EMEA one. this is for the Pacific. So PaperX, Talon Esports, Gen.G and DRX, those are your teams with the buys. PaperX play the winner of BME and T1, so, on current evidence, likely to be T1 rather than Boom Esports, of course, who recently were promoted instead of Bleed Esports. Global Esports play Team Secret, RIQ play DFM, and Zeta play the former Sinprasa gaming team that have been rebranded as well. So that is the setup there in the Pacific coming soon. We also saw this last night as well. I thought was kind of nice to see. We haven't heard or seen much from Sick in a rather long time. Of course, it was a good couple of years ago now where Sick was going through lots of difficulties. Centaurs were trying their best to help him out on this situation, and it was a big concern of the community how Sick was faring with the mental health struggles that he seemed to be going through at the time. And Sick then comes out after, if I go to his profile here, he's probably not done a tweet in a very long time. Yeah, July 2023, he of course was streaming. This is when a lot of the drama was happening really with him and his health and everything like that. And as he says yesterday, life isn't too bad these days. One might even say joyful. So hope it's going well for Sick, of course. Wishing him the best going forwards, and maybe we'll see more from him in the future as well, hopefully in the positive sense. This quickly from Ye. This is what, like Skeletor or whatever his name is, and I'm not exactly sure what Ye's getting at here. There is maybe some hints towards evil genius, evil geniuses, or whatever. And if you look at the first reply, you'll find it's from Derek, who's of course on EG. So, yeah, it seems like only a matter of time. Of course, there's been some questions. Cloud9, they've been making roster changes left, right, and centre. They kicked out Rossi. Then, of course, they kicked out Moose just a few days ago. So there have been people saying, oh, is Ye back to Cloud9 a possibility? Seems unlikely to me. But I wouldn't rule anything out right now with that Cloud9 organisation. But yeah, Ye to EG, for some reason, just hasn't quite been confirmed as of yet. But this was one of the big pieces of drama of the last couple of days, really, was around the, gambling side. So we saw Zeltis commenting on this as well a couple of days ago, and Riot Games have now confirmed that, betting partners will be supported in VCT and League of Legends esports teams in 2025, only in the Americas and EMEA, only in the VCT, it seems as well. They're going to vet all partners for integrity, and, this is what it's going to be, basically. And, look, is this going to be beneficial for esports? Depends massively on your perspective. But I thought this is an interesting comment as well, that it seems, sure, it's great in Tier 1, but in Tier 2, they don't have the option maybe to do this. They're not allowed to show it in their socials or anywhere. And, Tier 2 teams can't, use this because it's only for VCT teams. So definitely interesting. But the big development on this old betting side yesterday was a rumor emerging around Benjyfishy, of course, player for Team Heretics. Now, it's been a relatively big discussion point in esports recently around players betting on, matches, esports games, their own games. Obviously, ideally, that's not the case at all. But look, Benjyfishy has been noted for, he put a bet on the result of the League of Legends World Championship Grand Finals, which of course T1 and Faker ended up winning. And it wasn't like a massive bet in the thousands. He put some money on and he won €100 because of it. However, the Riot Games Esports Global Code of Conduct restricts esports players from gambling on a Riot Games title. Now, I think this is also true in other regular sports as well. Like, if you play in a sport, if you're a sports person, none of your friends or family are able to place any bets on anything to do with that sport. And even I think in some situations, that player's not allowed to bet on anything at all in any sports. And, just to ensure that integrity is upheld. Now, what Benjyfishy did was against the rules. And he went to confirm that and said, yeah, should have blamed Riot for this. The rules in place for a reason. I literally forgot about it. Now, look, you could argue, and fair play, that why does it really matter? Like, if you're a Valorant player, sure, understandable you can't bet on Valorant games because you are going to have more information based on scrims, what people are saying behind the scenes, which teams match up well against which teams or whatever, than the regular public has. And of course, if you bet on your own games, then it causes all sorts of controversy, which obviously is not even just illegal against the rules of the esport, but is also just straight up illegal from like a federal perspective, I guess. But yeah, it turns out he bet on T1 versus BLG at the League of Legends World Championship, won €100 because of it. And look, this is just the Riot Games rules. With whether you think the rule is fair or not, that Valorant players shouldn't be allowed to bet on League of Legends games, that is a rule that's in the Riot Games Code of Conduct, and Benjyfishy says, yeah, that's my bad, appreciate them for not giving me a worse punishment. Now, I'm not saying that Chet is exactly preying on his downfall, but I did think that it was interesting how there does seem to be, I wouldn't say double standards precisely, but it's just some sort of inconsistency here. When Chet has been banned from Valorant for, several months now. We'll see the details in a second. As he says in replies, must be nice to only get a warning. And then, Chet even quote tweets it and says, it's obviously sad for me. We know that Chet was banned for streaming VODs, right? You guys remember when earlier this year he streamed a VOD of a scrim that his team Gen.G had played, and seemingly that was against the rules. Which again to me seems pretty ridiculous. The idea that he streamed a VOD of a scrim, and it's not, to me, anyone's real property, that data, but obviously Riot Games see it differently, and he'd not got permission from Riot or the other team to do so. So this was against the rules. I feel like most people felt like this wasn't a massive big deal, but look, that violated the Riot Games Global Esports Code of Conduct, for which Chet was suspended immediately and for a period of 5 months. So until the end of Masters Bangkok at the start of March, Chet has been banned from anything to do with Valorant, and it's affected his career massively as a coach. But Benjyfishy violates the Valorant Code of Conduct in a way that, Chet's not denying this. He was just saying, look, I think it's kind of unfair that I'm getting sentenced in this way. Benjyfishy is like, yeah, I'm not denying it. I did what you said I did. I broke the code of conduct. And yet for one, there's a warning. For one, there's a 5-month suspension. So, look, you could argue one is more severe than the other. But, is it really? I don't know. How do you judge these type of things? I thought it was all pretty interesting. But, yeah, very much interested to your thoughts on all this drama in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.